In the heart of London, amidst the city air and the clamour of horse-drawn carriages, there lived a man whose obsession knew no bounds. Horatio was his name, and he spent every waking moment tinkering with his machines. But it wasn't enough to create ordinary automatons. He wanted to create something truly remarkable. Something that could fool even the most discerning eye. Years of work finally paid off when Horatio's masterpiece was completed. Victoria was her name, and she was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. From her lifelike skin to the way she moved, she was indistinguishable from a real human being. Horatio treated her as if she were his own daughter, doting on her every need and teaching her about the world. Victoria would often stand by the window, gazing out at the bustling streets below. She longed to be out there, to experience the world like a real person. She would watch with envy as people walked by, laughing and talking, their faces illuminated by the warm Sunday. Finally, one day, Victoria could bear it no longer. She turned to Horatio, her eyes pleading, and asked to be let out into the world. Horatio hesitated, knowing the risks, but he could see the longing in her eyes and eventually relented. As Victoria stepped out into the streets, the reaction was immediate. People stopped in their tracks, staring in disbelief at the lifelike automaton before them. Some gasped, others muttered under their breath, and a few even crossed themselves, as if warding off evil. Victoria tried her best to blend in, but it was no use. Her differences were too great, and her appearance too strange. People avoided her, crossing the street to avoid getting too close. A few even hurled insults and threats in her direction. But then something unexpected happened. A young child, no more than 5 or 6 years old, came running up to Victoria, his face beaming with joy. He held out a bright red balloon, offering it to her with a goofy grin. Victoria hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to react. But then she saw the innocence in the child's eyes, the pure joy he felt at the simple act of giving. And so she reached out and took the balloon, feeling a warmth in her chest that she had never experienced before. From that moment on, the stares and whispers no longer mattered to Victoria. She was content to walk the streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the city with wonder and awe. She knew that she was different, but she no longer cared. For the first time in her life, she was truly happy. As Victoria continued to explore the city, she couldn't help but think about the reactions of the people around her. She knew that she was different, but she couldn't understand why it made others so uncomfortable. Horatio saw the sadness in her eyes and spoke to her about the importance of acceptance. He reminded her that everyone is unique in their own way and that it is those differences that make us special. Victoria began to see the truth in Horatio's words. She realized that, just like her, there were many people in the world who were seen as different and were often marginalized or shunned by society. She hoped that one day, the world would learn to embrace those differences, rather than fear them. Thank you for listening.